Many times as you have your seats, men are caught up in the hustle and bustle of looking for some elusive Mrs. Right. But the question is, are you a Mr. Right? Mr. Right is not a violent man. A violent man becomes the undoing of his own family. One thing you need to know about Mr. Right is that he cannot afford to be a violent man. Even though he has many other things that can be admired in his life, even though he's a millionaire or a billionaire, even though he's into real estate and he's making lots of money and income for his family, he becomes the weak point in his family chain. And some men have the audacity to hit their woman even before marriage. It is one of the most beastly and cowardly things you can ever commit against a woman. Listen to this. Beating your wife does not prove that you are a man. Beating your wife proves one thing, that you are a boy in your father's trousers. Real men are not violent to women. I remember as a young pastor sitting in my office listening in horror to a chilling story of how one woman who was being strangled in the bathroom by her own husband survived premature death by a whisker. Because just before she could breathe her last, she managed to let out a cry so loud enough for the neighbors to hear, and they came for her rescue. She was being strangled. It was not a prank. And I remember as a young pastor, they came sat in my office as the woman was narrating how this man was about to kill me. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. And I had to call my bishop and request whether he could come. When he came in, I still remember vividly how he landed on that gentleman like a ton of bricks. Of course, he didn't beat him up, but he could have done that and would have joined in the foray. But he really told him off. And imagine the man seated there asking to be excused. Ask your neighbor for me, excuse my... And I remember how year after year, my bishop pumped this into our psyche, that a real man should never beat his woman. That if you really want to fight, you should go out there and get a man your size that will knock your teeth in, that will grab the hard disk and delete the memory. If you really want to fight, don't go fighting a weak 48-kilogram woman. If you really want to fight, go to Nairobi National Park and look for a buffalo and poke the nose. What were you thinking? Poke the nose of the buffalo. Or point at the buffalo and tell the buffalo, if you really want to fight, go look for a buffalo. But it is unmanly to be beating up your woman. But pastor, I was angry. Listen, if you can't manage your anger, you won't manage your home. One of the hallmarks of Christian maturity in men is the ability to restrain from acting out of anger. If you want to be a Mr. Right, the first thing you should begin to ask the Lord is take away this spirit of anger. Why? If you continue with your anger, you will mess up your home and end up inheriting